Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something, well, pretty paradoxical in global commerce.
Yeah, it's about maritime shipping. On one hand, it's this incredibly high-tech industry, right?
Absolutely. Pushing the boundaries with AI, automation, decarbonization,
Yeah.
all the buzzwords.
But then you peel back a layer and the way it treats its human workforce, it's fundamentally broken in many ways.
It's a massive disconnect. And the research we've been looking at really drives this home. We're drawing from material focusing on basically the human in the maritime business.
Specifically, infrastructure and crew well-being. And it doesn't pull any punches. It's sharply critical.
So our mission today is to synthesize this and really look at why neglecting the human side isn't just, bad ethics, it's bad business.
Exactly. We're framing this as, well, frankly, unacceptable. It seems almost deliberately overlooked in this big race towards shipping 4.0.
We need to get beyond just saying it's bad. What's the actual impact? Financially, operationally?
That's the key, the measurable negative impact. Because you can't claim efficiency if you're burning out the people who actually deliver that efficiency.
Okay, let's dive into that core conflict. You have these incredible ships,
Yeah.
like floating tech hubs.
Cutting edge GPS, integrated systems, complex cargo management, really 21st century stuff.
But then the seafarers running all this high-level gear, what are their living conditions like?
Often, honestly, austere. Think cabins smaller than your average budget motel room.
Wow.
And where they put these cabins, often right next to the loudest parts of the ship. Generators, engine room.
So constant noise, vibration, impacting sleep.
Absolutely. Poor sleep quality is almost baked into the design in some cases, which in a high-risk job is just dangerous.
It's not just about being uncomfortable then, it's about performance and safety.
Precisely. And then there's connectivity, or rather the lack of it.
The internet issue. Crucial for anyone working away from home.
You'd think, but often it's shockingly basic. We're talking slow, intermittent connections. Maybe good enough for a text message, sometimes very choppy video call.
And that's shared.
Often shared, and maybe only available a couple of times a week. It's isolating.
So while the industry leaders are talking decarbonization, digitalization, big picture stuff.
The reality for the crew is cramped spaces and internet that feels like it's from, the 90s?
It really highlights a massive misalignment in priorities, doesn't it?
It's a structural oversight. The focus is all on the steel, the engines, the fuel, not the human operating system required to make it all work.
And this risks the whole model.
Completely.
Yeah.
Because the skills needed are changing fast. Shipping 4.0 isn't just about the tech, it's about the people using the tech.
Right, the role is shifting. Less manual work, more supervision, data analysis, troubleshooting complex systems.
Exactly. It demands constant learning, digital literacy, high-level skills.
But how do you develop those skills? How do you even stay current without decent internet or a quiet place to focus?
You can't. Effectively. You're demanding evolution from your workforce while denying them the basic tools and environment needed for it. It makes no sense.
Which brings us to this idea of the museum problem. Tell us about that.
Okay, so think about recruitment and retention. The industry needs new talent, right? Especially younger generations like Gen Z.
And they have different expectations. Work-life balance, connectivity, personal space. These aren't luxuries anymore, they're baseline requirements.
Precisely. Now, compare the standard merchant vessel setup to, say, a modern offshore oil rig.
Okay, also high risk, remote work.
But often those new rigs, they have private cabins, decent gyms, maybe even a cinema room, good food, and crucially reliable, free, high-speed internet. They get it.
They understand it's an investment in attracting and keeping skilled people.
Whereas much of the shipping world is still stuck in this mindset of minimalist, cost-cut design for crew areas, it makes seafaring look, punishing, unnecessarily so.
Like stepping back in time.
That's the museum problem. Offering working conditions that feel decades out of date. It puts shipping at a huge disadvantage in the global talent market.
You're competing against shore-based tech jobs, other industries offering way more flexibility and modern comforts.
And losing. It's leading to a serious talent drain. Experienced people are leaving and fewer young people are coming in.
And that awful connectivity must be a huge part of the dissatisfaction. Isolation is tough.
It's arguably the biggest factor for mental well-being. Imagine being away for months and you can barely connect with your family, maybe a crackly call once a week if you're lucky, or paying huge amounts for slow data.
It's just not sustainable for mental health.
No. The standard needs to be unrestricted, free, high-speed satellite internet, period. Anything less is just failing your people. It's moving beyond this 1990s connectivity joke.
It feels almost insulting to the professionals running these multi-million-dollar assets.
It really does. And good connectivity isn't just a nice to have. It directly correlates with better job satisfaction, better mental health, and lower turnover.
Okay, let's give it to the bottom line. Because this isn't just about feeling good. There are hard costs to this neglect.
Huge costs. Forget the idea that skimping on crew comfort saves money. Disruptions, accidents, high turnover. These cost a fortune.
Talk about fatigue. How big a factor is that?
It's monumental and directly linked to these poor conditions. Bad sleep, constant noise, stress. It all leads to fatigue.
Which impairs judgment.
Severely. Slows reaction times, increases errors in an environment where one mistake can be catastrophic.
Well, you see the problem.
We've heard figures. A single day a large ship is out of service, off hire, can cost tens of thousands, right? Maybe $50,000 or more.
Easily. So one fatigue-related incident, maybe a minor collision, equipment damage, it can instantly wipe out any tiny savings you made by not installing better soundproofing or upgrading the Wi-Fi for years.
Maths just doesn't add up for cutting corners here.
Which leads us to the ROI, the return on investment for actually looking after your crew. Is it real? Is it quantifiable?
What does the data say? The data is stark. Investing in crew well-being isn't charity, it's strategy. Companies that prioritize this report significantly fewer safety incidents.
How significant?
Up to 35% fewer safety incidents.
35%. That's massive.
And that's not all. They also report up to 25% lower attrition rates. They keep their trained, experienced people.
Okay, wait. 35% fewer incidents, 25% lower turnover. If those numbers are real and accessible, why isn't everyone doing this? It seems like a no-brainer. Is it only for the huge, rich companies?
That's the thing. The research suggests this isn't just for the giants. The ROI seems consistent across different fleet sizes. It's accessible.
So it's not the cost, necessarily.
Not fundamentally. The issue is more about inertia, culture, bureaucracy.
Also?
There's often a very short-term budget mentality. Leadership sees, say, installing fleet-wide high-speed internet as a big upfront cost, an operational expense to be minimized this quarter.
Instead of seeing it as a long-term investment that prevents much bigger costs down the line.
Exactly. They're stuck in the capital expenditure mindset for things that deliver operational expenditure savings and risk reduction. It's thinking about immediate expenses rather than long-term value and resilience.
So it requires a real shift in perspective at the top.
A fundamental shift. Moving away from constantly reacting to problems, the sources call this firefighting.
Putting out fires as they flare up.
Yeah, towards proactively building a better foundation. They call it shipbuilding.
Meaning building for long-term value, not just patching holes.
Precisely. Designing the human part of the system with the same care you design the hull or the engine. Building in well-being from the start.
Okay, so what does this shipbuilding approach look like practically? What are the concrete steps?
The research points to 4 key areas, going beyond just meeting minimum regulations. First, modern cabins.
What does that mean specifically?
Proper acoustic design, real soundproofing. Smart lighting that supports natural sleep cycles. Good air quality control. Ergonomic furniture. Basically, designing cabins for human rest and recovery, not just minimal space.
Okay, makes sense. Second, has to be connectivity.
Non-negotiable. Unlimited high-speed satellite internet. Treat it like fuel or water, an essential utility. Robust, free, available to everyone on board without ridiculous restrictions.
Third, dealing with those changing skills.
Yes, continuous teletraining. Use that high-speed internet to deliver ongoing professional development directly on board. Keep skills sharp on cybersecurity, new systems, analytics, more flexible and current than just occasional shore-based courses.
So supporting their professional growth right there on the vessel.
Right. And the 4th pillar addresses workload and fatigue directly.
Ow.
Enhanced support and staffing. This means seriously looking at how much administrative burden falls on officers. Are they drowning in paperwork instead of focusing on safe navigation?
So maybe needing more crew or different rotation schedules or dedicated admin support.
Could be any of those. It's about analyzing the actual workload and ensuring people aren't stretched too thin, reducing that fatigue risk right at the source.
Okay, let's try and pull this together then. The core message seems to be that the maritime industry has let this huge gap open up. Super advanced technology on deck.
And often shockingly basic, almost neglected conditions below deck for the crew.
And this isn't just unfortunate, it's actively creating risk, financial risk, safety risk, talent risk, It's an operational vulnerability.
Absolutely. It's an unacceptable disparity. The sources are really clear. A ship doesn't just run on fuel, it runs on the skill, the well being, the spirit, if you like, of the people on board.
So investing in the crew, their cabins, their connectivity, their training, their workload isn't an expense to be minimized.
It's the foundational investment for a sustainable, reliable, future-proof maritime sector. It's about building resilience from the human core outwards.
It really reframes the whole conversation away from cost cutting towards strategic investment.
Which leads us to a final thought, maybe for you listening. If the data is this clear, investing in people cuts incidents by over a third, slashes turnover by a quarter.
Reducing massive costs and risks.
Exactly. What powerful forces, be they cultural inertia, short-term financial pressures, outdated thinking, what is still strong enough to let this museum problem persist across so much of the industry? Why is fixing it apparently still so hard?